Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, a place where you can learn about body language and correctly be able to observe and assess the behaviours of those around you, understand what they really mean and what they're really thinking in real time. If you enjoy what you hear, click like, click subscribe, and without further ado, let's get in. So, today we're going to be talking about context. We've spoken about clusters, which is the act of paying attention to more than one body language behaviour at a time to really assess the big picture rather than isolating and concentrating on one gesture at a time, which may add to inaccuracy of reading somebody. Context means you have to look at the situation and the scenario surrounding them. Alright, so perhaps it's a physical situation such as warm weather, which explains why they're sweating, alright, or cold weather, which explains such as why they're covering up, and what you would deem a defensive position is actually purely to keep themselves warm. Another idea of context is to inquire what's going on in their lives. They may be speaking to you in somewhat an insecure manner, but it might be a reflection of them having something, more important to prioritise in the back of their mind, such as an ill family member or something along the likes of that, okay? Such as we hear about verbal statements that are taken out of context. In the same way, we can take non-verbal language out of context, alright? So we understand the power and the damage it can be done for somebody to take somebody's statement out of context. We may assess somebody in an incorrect manner and, end up in feeling a certain way about a particular person purely due to an incorrect reading. So we have to pay attention to this person's baseline behaviour and understand if something's quite odd at that moment in time regarding what we're taking into consideration. Alright, so the photo we have before us is of a woman who looks like she's shielding herself, but her background may possibly be cold. She also has a warm coffee at hand, so it's worth considering, the alternatives. And it might take a little bit long initially, but as you start to internalize this language and become more fluid with your assessments, you're going to be able to pay attention to this quite easily and be able to open a map in your mind which directs you as to what the possibilities might be. So now let's say that you're speaking to an individual regarding whether they would like to go to an event with you or not. And while speaking, you see them just scratch the side of their neck as if it was some degree of pacifying behaviour, which it could be. By default, it may self-soothe the individual, okay? As we've referenced in videos regarding the touching of the neck. Now, you may think, oh, this person is having to self-soothe in regards to, a negative perspective they have on the event. But it could be a possibility that the individual is coming down or coming off of drugs or so on and so forth. Just little things that may be kept out of the light but can affect your communications with people and how you read people, alright? So it's very important to approach any sort of alternative, and as you do start to approach the alternatives, you will start to see people in a whole different light. Your concentration and honing in on the correct answer is going to become so much more efficient and better because you've seen particular patterns and you've considered particular outcomes, alright? And you won't lose that sharpness, as long as you continue assessing. But as you become internalized, I'll tell you what, you don't start not reading people once you start looking into things, okay? Because it's so powerful. I'm into training, so I've learned how to squat correctly, okay? So I can squat correctly, ensuring that my lower back is safe and I don't injure myself. From now, my body won't squat any way other than the proper way, purely as it would be detrimental. If not, such as learning body language, once you internalize it and learn to see certain signs, and trust me, because I have taken time off in the past in regards to the research and understanding the, the biological backgrounds and so forth, you may lose the theoretics, but you're able to still understand by intuition, if not subconscious, that something's not right or somebody's coming across in a certain kind of way. So it's very important to question the alternative and understand the context of certain behaviours. Alright. Perhaps something's bittersweet, so if you were to give somebody good news, or if it was a birthday party of somebody, okay, and you see that they should be happy but they feel a little bit uncomfortable about it, it may not necessarily about the surprise party you've thrown for them, but more so because the person they once loved is not able to attend that party, so it's a little bit bittersweet, okay? So you have to pay attention, and in times like that, when somebody does seem a little bit uncomfortable in you know, a positive situation, especially if you've thrown it on, it would be in your best interest to just say, "I noticed you, seemed a bit uncomfortable. Is anything up?" And then it's up to them to let you know, okay? So you can clear that up. And that's the benefits of learning and being able to assess both the clusters, the context, and be able to correctly read this language. You're able to speak to people in a language not many people can offer, because not many people will be able to, understand what they're seeing before them. But you, as being able to understand what you're seeing, you're able to speak to them and understand them better than most of the people around them. So it's of incredible benefit. Anyway, that's a little talk in regards to the context and analysis of the surrounding information of particular gestures and behaviours you might assess in life. It's worth having a little brief talk about. I'm sure it will come up in due time. And without further ado, I'm going to get off. So click like, click subscribe, leave a comment if you have any thoughts. One love, people.